We would like to see most of the human race killed off because it is unworthy. It is unworthy of the gift of life.
I don't care what society thinks. They're nothing anyway. They're no better than me.
Until we hear the safe word, we will not stop.
Have you ever thought what it would be like to see a person's head amputated? Think of things so horrible that the human mind cannot imagine them. See all this and more when you see on stage, in person, that crazy mix-up.
I like being set apart from people. I like to be hated.
Safe Word with Jason Rouse.
Geez, I got a list of things I should probably mention.
Let's hear it. Number one, you don't drink regular milk like a queer.
I don't drink. I actually drink milk, but it has to be one of those cheese slices wrapped around a man's dick.
Let's wait for the laughter.
We're going to pencil this in there. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Safe Word Podcast. My guest, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Leonarda Jonie. I'm on Instagram at Leonarda is funny. I'm a comedian, writer.
Jonie, but it's not spelled.
Jonie. It's a made-up spelling.
I know a jaunty in England.
Yeah, no, I made up that. It's a variation of my original last name.
Isn't it weird? A lot of people do modify their names for show business or just to get through the day. Tired of explaining to people on how to say their name correctly.
Tired of explaining to people. Plus, I say a lot of stuff that I don't want to go back. I don't want it to go back to my family. So
yeah, I have a couple Canadian comedian friends that they've got different family names as a performer.
Yeah.
To avoid any backlash. I was foolish, and I thought my family was going to be very proud.
Oh yeah, right.
I had an issue that I was revealed to me down the road, but in 2000 I did my first hour stand-up special in Canada. It was kind of like it was about as big as you could do in my field of stand-up comedy was to do a Comedy Now special. It was the kind of HBO equivalent, and I never really thought about because I'd mentioned family members in there to create these characters in these fantasy worlds, but I'd say mother, father, so on and so forth to add the context, and they thought I was like making fun of them directly.
Oh
yeah, for a minute, I think, but yeah, there's it's. You kind of leave yourself open for criticisms, and sometimes your family can be worse than any online YouTube comment.
Oh, all the time, man. Are you kidding me?
Right?
My family. Who?
What? Is it hot over at your house?
Is it hot in my house? Dude, my family, I've been disowned so many times.
I want to know.
Officially.
Was there yelling?
There was more just
or was it like psychological warfare?
No. There was all levels. There was physical, psychological.
Did you have like the X-Men of terrorist family members where they all had specific skill sets and they'd work together against you?
Yeah, they were called different personalities of my dad.
Oh, really? Was your father
He's a rageaholic.
Okay.
Rageaholic.
But he wasn't diagnosed with multiple personalities.
No. I mean, he probably could be, but
Rageaholic though, but it's kind of like living with Popeye or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if Popeye, threw Olive off the ship every time he got pissed off at her or something, yeah, just waterboarded Olive.
Well, you've seen people have road rage, and it may as well be throwing Olive over a bridge.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of it has to do with Albanian culture. Albanian culture is so the one emotion Albanians have no problem feeling is rage. So, and
some people mistaken that for passion.
Yeah, no, it's just rage, and other stuff is really way more uncomfortable for them to feel, like humility, but it comes from
it's macho.
Well, you have to understand that the region is a war-torn region, right? It's constant warfare, constant attempts to erase Albanian people off the face of the earth.
What's the population in the country?
There's more Albanians living outside of Albania than within it.
Yeah.
Because of so much immigration that's happened. But I don't have the figures off the top of my head. I think it's something like 4 million, I believe.
That's not a lot.
It's not a lot of people. It's not a lot of people. Historically, they've been, basically since at least the mid 1400s, they had to deal with the Ottoman Empire occupying them forcibly.
I think that's how people in Quebec feel like the rest of the country of Canada.
That there's not a lot of them and they have to preserve their culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I don't even think that now that you've phrased it in a way that's normal people could understand. That's exactly, they're militantly, they won't even acknowledge you speaking English outside the city of Montreal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you
It's a
from
real
there?
fuck you.
No.
No, I'm from closer to Buffalo.
So you're British Canadian.
Yeah,
That's your lineage.
for sure. Okay, well, that's one side of the tree is very, I have the paperwork to prove it. So grandfather's English, grandmother's Irish, grandfather Grimsby, England, grandmother from Cork, Ireland. Now on my father's side, farmers just out in New Brunswick for, I don't know, 150 years.
Wow.
So I don't know what happened, how they ended up there at 150 years ago. But I don't know. I'm too afraid to do 21andMe.
23andMe.
23andMe?
What do you have, Down syndrome?
No, I thought that was the legal drinking age.
21andMe.
Why is it 23andMe?
You have 23 chromosomes.
I do?
Well, we don't know about you.
That's what I mean. It
But
could be 21andMe. I have 21.
No, but the Down syndrome is actually having from having an extra chromosome, actually. I don't even know if you could survive if you have less than 23 chromosomes.
Well, we're going to find out at the hospital. Stay tuned next week, folks, when I find out if I'm really alive. Have you done any of that?
No, because I don't want them to have my information.
That's it.
I mean, and anybody who's like, yeah, just a conspiracy theorist, it's like, you're brain dead, dude. So I don't really care. I mean, I am a conspiracy theorist.
First of all, look
for
at
good reason.
Think of your DNA as an iPhone.
It's more than that, dude.
Oh, most definitely.
It's
but
like
think of what
everything
you
that
give
they
up.
could ever want to know.
Yeah.
And then if they do want to manufacture a biological weapon, like maybe what happened last year that specifically targets people of a different demographic, they could do that with that information.
And then you have the other side of the argument of people going, well, why would they want your DNA? Well, maybe they need a slice of it because it's a missing piece
it's
to
not
another
necessarily
possibility.
your DNA.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight because of this.
They don't even need yours specifically. They just need enough people's DNA to get a trend of what's happening,
Like rings on a tree
Yeah. And the thing is,
of society.
I don't need to do that because I talk to my grandmother, and my grandmother is like,
An alcoholic. She's not telling nothing.
She's a repertoire of knowledge. This is one of the things we have with like Americans, right? They take as soon as they're
But you got to think about.
they send them away.
You trust her as a time capsule of your lineage.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Somebody before her was probably full of shit. And I'm not doubting your grandmother's word.
If you were talking about on my dad's side, I'd be like, yeah. On my mom's side, the lineage is just...
The women have got it all on lockdown. They know where all the uterus is connected over the arc of time. Yeah.
And my grandmother is like a person of noble character, which you can't say for everyone.
I want to meet her.
Yeah.
She's
good.
She's the center of your family, would you say?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I mean now, right? Because she came over when my brother
80?
was born. She's like 85.
85.
Yeah.
Good for her. The fact that she's on the other side of the rainbow of the death rattle of this last 12 months.
Yes.
Is she literally just went through the worst war of her life.
Yeah. Well, no. She went through the worst war of her life way earlier. But
she could identify the attackers. They were
Even
in
with this,
uniform.
the good thing is that she doesn't speak English, so she wasn't
The
watching.
good thing about
Yeah.
Grandma, she doesn't
She doesn't
speak English.
So she wasn't watching the news, like, and knowing the fear mongering that they were trying.
Yeah.
Like she picked up on it because of what everybody was talking about and everything. And for the first little bit of time, she was scared. But my grandmother is like gangster. So when I was like, I'm staying away because I don't want to get you sick, she was like, I want to see you.
Yes.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to see you.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
They're willing to take the risk because they know that they've had some real struggles in their life. And if a hug is going to kill them, then they're like, I went out on a high. It's like some guys go to Vegas and drown in a hot tub.
Yeah.
Except Grandma just needs a hug.
She just needs a hug.
She does needs. I want to hug Grandma. How tall is she?
She's little. She's a little.
She's a little lady?
She's a little stumpy. She's like 200 pounds. She's probably like 5'5".
And what was her childhood job? Because she
was a
worked
farmer.
as a child.
She worked on a farm.
Yeah.
She was a farm.
I
She told me about the stories about when she'd go into the field and wear the shoes to push down the corn when it was time to harvest it.
Yep.
And I was like, wow.
That shithead you staying on my couch got up at 1:00 in the afternoon. Your grandmother's out in homemade shoes at 6 a.m.
Please,
for
before
lunch.
that.
Yeah, exactly. That's lunch, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
What a fucking
Gangster.
Yeah.
Gangster. I mean, there's a reason they call her generation the greatest generation.
Okay.
They're people of character.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy shit. Like my grandma was 15 when my grandfather saw her and was like, that's the woman I'm going to marry. And then he had to go to war.
We bought into all that.
What do you mean?
Like love at first sight. He goes to war, comes back. We have a family, build a house.
And they did.
And they totally did. That's not even in the ether
and
for
what's
our generation.
Yeah. What's better? Do you know what I mean? Like I think about that because I grew up in this generation and I see it and I'm like, okay, so you want to have a bunch of random dicks or random pussy. Right? Whoa. That's what it is.
He's sleeping.
You want to have a bunch of random dicks and random pussy that ultimately, like, what are you doing? You're wasting kind of like the best years of your life where you could be planting a firm foundation.
Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with here with Billy Bedsores. I'm like, dude, he didn't want to go and sign up for Kill Tony one day.
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you better than? I love when people are better than that and they don't even have a career.
I go, there's people out there. First of all, he got on twice in the last 4 weeks.
Wow. That's really good.
Yeah. I anointed him with some witchcraft.
Did you?
While he was sleeping.
Did you really?
To give him some sort of extra abilities to navigate the cosmos and an opportunity. That's me.
That's you.
I put it on airplane, but the alarm still goes on.
Yeah, the alarm goes off.
Fuck. Hold on. Who's that? Okay, great. Thank you. I apologize. And we're back from our sponsors. Fuck, Grandma. I didn't mean to phrase it like that.
Yeah, dude.
But Grandma, what happened with Grandma?
Well, she was like, okay, that's who I'm going to marry. And then people were like, well, what about this? She was like, I already gave my word. 15, gave her word.
Yeah.
15, a person of character. Mm-hmm. Then my, grandfather comes back from the war. My grandma is about 19 at this point. They get married. They have 3 kids. Jesus Christ. One of her kids is actually born with Down syndrome. Third kid.
Welcome to the world.
Yeah. And
things are getting real.
My grandfather's like, just leave him. Because he was, he's like, well, this baby's not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
Just leave. And my grandmother was like, no, this is my kid.
Yeah.
And she brought him back home from the hospital, raised him for, 30-something years. He died in his mid-30s from a fever because, people with Down syndrome don't live a long time.
Mm-hmm. Is it an immune system issue? Or they kind of have the life of a Great Dane?
I don't know. I don't know. But the thing about my grandfather also, 10 years into their marriage, he was murdered.
And when you say, leave him, that was like a normal. That was a
normal thing. Leave him in the hospital. He'll be raised in an orphanage for special needs people. Yeah. And my grandmother was
what a hellish existence.
Hellish. My grandma was like, absolutely not. This is my child.
Hellish. I remember the movie Annie, and she lived in the orphanage. Gruel, isn't that what they ate? The gruel.
Yeah.
The gray mattered.
You don't know what it is.
Oatmeal.
It's like the brains of old people.
I don't know. I think that's how you get mad old people disease.
Yeah.
From eating the brains of the elderly.
Yeah, don't eat the brains of anyone.
Maybe it's kind of one of those reverse things where if you eat senile brain tissue that you'll actually get smarter.
I don't think so.
No.
Maybe it's like drinking almond milk.
I'm getting my period talking to you.
Yeah, I know you are because you freaking poured almond milk into my coffee.
I like almond milk.
It's gay.
I drink a lot of coffee, and you can't drink a liter of dairy a day because that's how many cups of coffee I'd have.
Well, how much milk are you putting in the coffee?
Very little, maybe about a shot.
Yeah, well, that's not.
Yeah, but then you have 60 shots.
Okay. Well, 60 cups of coffee, you're out of control.
60 cups. No, it's probably 2 shots of... But then I'll go full cream. What I really like is a treat for myself, Carnation canned milk.
Oh, the sweetened condensed milk? Ugh. That's like actually what Cuban coffee's like.
Yes.
They use sweetened condensed milk.
Yeah, I love all the rainbows of coffee, especially countries that have like... some of the best coffee I ever had was in a jewelry store in Dubai. In a plastic cup given to me about a 10-year-old kid.
Dude, I know. Some of the best coffee... I remember one of the best cups of coffee I had was from this random bodega somewhere in North... like Harlem. I don't remember exactly where it was. Maybe it was like Inwood. I don't know what they did, but I can't recreate that cup of coffee.
Yeah,
it was so good.
And as you sip, you kind of know the bottom's coming up.
Yeah.
And then what am I going to do? Because I'm on this now. The guy's got me hooked.
Yeah.
I went back after one of those. There was a coffee shop in Kensington Market in Toronto. And I came back. I said, "This is the best cup of coffee ever." And he goes, "I only make one best cup of coffee." He's like, he cut himself out of trying to recreate that moment.
Yeah.
But he knew I was a dedicated customer. But yeah, coffee. Do you drink booze?
Occasionally. Not a big drinker.
No.
Yeah.
You can't be now.
Why?
Because everyone's busy.
What do you mean?
You how many comics do you know that show up with hangovers and blow it?
How many comics do I know who show up drunk?
Yeah.
I don't get that. I can't work inebriated. The only thing I could ever do is be on a micro dose of mushrooms and do comedy.
Yeah, that's respectable.
Yeah. Because I'm not so out of it. I'm a little more bubbly and giggly, and so I'm a little more free.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Or a drink.
Yeah.
But even that, I usually go up sober.
I used to just take a beer on stage and then continue that to 4 a.m.
Oh, wow.
From the beginning of the show to the wee hours of the morning.
So would you get inebriated? Yeah. Are you sober now? No? I don't know.
I don't drink booze.
I don't drink booze. Okay.
I quit for 6 years when I first started.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then when I moved to Europe, it was like, it was on. It was back. It was a different thing. It was like, drinking in New York and drinking in Los Angeles are 2 different places.
Because of driving, you mean?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. You can commute relatively easy.
In New York.
Yeah. Hammered.
Yeah.
You can do a full bar crawl.
Yeah.
And then, anyway, pub culture in England.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know. They're big alcoholics over there.
Yeah.
They need it because in England, they're like very, the one thing I found when I went to England.
Good. What year did you go?
I went in.
You actually one of the few Americans that have stamps in your passport.
Yeah.
You've done some shit.
Yeah.
Most of these clowns, you need a passport? Yeah, you might want to look just outside of your borders. There's other people that speak English too in the world. Why not visit them?
There's also other people who speak other languages, which is cool.
Yeah, are you doing any, let me guess. 2 languages very good, and the third one's like wonky.
3 languages very good. The 4th one's kind of wonky.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was only off by 1 language.
Yeah, you're off by 1.
What's your favorite one to speak?
French.
You got a French?
Yeah, which is my one that's wonky.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I love that language.
Yeah.
I can understand it very well, so people can talk to me in French, like fluently.
What about French Canadians?
I don't know about them, man.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. It's just like different. It's different, right?
Totally different.
Yeah.
And what are the people from France called?
French people?
French people.
The French?
No, like...
Well, the people outside who speak French are called francophone.
Yeah, right? I'm thinking about like, what do you call people from France? Like not French. That's like a dumb American thing. They're Francians? Frenchies?
According to who? What do you call them for?
Oh, in Canada, there's a whole East Coast, West Coast thing going on there.
Got it. That makes sense.
But anyway, I worked for, in Vancouver, I worked for a French couple in a restaurant, and they were from France, and I asked them, I go, what do you think of the French Canadian language? And they couldn't believe, they went on a rant about the levels of disgust that they had for.
Well, because French is the one thing I
it's a lot of slang, they said.
Yeah, because they're very preserve our culture, preserve our language, preserve our customs. And one thing I was blown away by when I went to France, first of all, there's a huge influx of immigration, which is forced, actually. This is a forced immigration from, a lot of sinister forces in the world who want to break down a lot of European cultures.
That same immigration is in Quebec because of the language. It's easier to immigrate to a country if they got. Right. Then they show up and talk to some Haitian guy speaking French to a Canadian French. It must be completely.
Yeah, and the irony is probably the Haitian guy has a better preservation of French because he learned it in France or directly through French people, which becomes very ironic.
Yeah. Isn't it such a weird world? Everyone thinks they've got it. There's mojo is the right one.
Yeah.
But we're so folded over on each other.
And we were even before this time of forced immigration and stuff. I mean, that's why people are doing 23andMe and they're discovering oh crap, I have, Arab in me. And I didn't think that was even there because I'm white. And it's
people are disrespecting borders and looking more internally to find out what their true rooted culture and things are.
Right.
Because the system, you guys stay over there. We do our thing over here. Nonsense doesn't carry through the DNA. Somebody went over there and fucked somebody over there.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, please. But I have a whole
legendary,
a whole half of my cousins that we look at and we go, oh yeah, you're straight Turk.
Yeah. You're
and
they can't argue it.
They can't argue it. And then their last name, I realized, was something that in Albanian, in the old Albanian, translated to Ottoman. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense that your last name is Ottoman because I look at you and you're Turkish, even though you're Albanian by identification, But I agree with you. I mean, I think one thing that I saw when I was in France was there was a sharp distinction.
I wonder how many clan meetings would be shut down just if everyone had to
if
go
they do their
through.
23andMe.
Yes.
Yeah. They'd be like, well, I'm part of the Black League now. They would just switch, dude.
Yeah, a bunch of
because they're fanatical. They would just switch their loyalties to a different fanaticism.
Totally. They'd be in a Sublime cover band. White guys playing reggae.
Oh, got it.
I didn't want to even bring it up either. It's the worst.
It's terrible.
It's brutal.
Some white guys are good at reggae.
Some of them are very accomplished, but I don't want to hear it. Stevie Ray Vaughan's a hard enough swallow playing blues.
Yeah.
That's about as deep.
Yeah.
I'll do Eminem, but not Vanilla Ice.
Ice, baby.
Yeah, Rob Winkleman is his real name.
Yeah, it's a good thing he changed it to Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, it's a lot sharder. Sharder?
Sharder.
That was appropriate, right?
He sharded.
Sharded. Well, what year were you born?
Why do I gotta say that?
Oh, sorry.
I'm just fucking with you. 1984.
84?
Yeah. You want my weight next?
No. I used
to do jokes on stage where I would say my age and my weight.
Yeah.
And I didn't care, and because it was funny for the joke. And I remember before I did it, I told my boyfriend, I was like, you might look at me different after I do this joke because I'm going to say my number. And then he was like, whatever my weight number was.
Yeah. But it sounds funnier. So what number?
Yeah.
Number what?
Yeah. And his thing was like, do you think visually you're going to change in my mind once I know how much you weigh? And I remember I was like, yeah, I still look exactly like whatever I looked like when I was on stage before I told you my weight.
Yeah.
So this crazy thing, it's what are we doing?
It's a measuring stick from society.
Yeah, but it was a way for me to go, no, I'm actually free. Here you go. This is my age. This is my weight.
Yeah, why not?
What's your point?
And not to mention that you kind of elevate yourself into a position of vulnerability, but it actually allows you to take more away from the audience.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm doing this.
Yeah, and yeah.
But yeah, I was born in 1984 in Albania.
71.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was with an old geezer.
I'm an old fucker. I'm a bastard. I think that's what I saw when you looked at me. You're like, who's this bastard? Right?
Yeah. Dude, you do a lot of projecting, huh?
Yeah. I have to read people constantly. That's why I'm not really interactive generally out in the world.
Yeah, because you're reading people.
I'm just assessing them and see how they respond to certain things. And I'm doing nothing to it's funny for me to watch. Do you have brothers?
3 brothers.
Yeah, that's why you looked at me as like a shithead.
Yeah. I did not look at you as a shithead.
No.
I only looked at you as a shithead when I came in here.
Here comes the finger.
When I came in here and you said, "Do you want some coffee?" I only have almond milk. And I was like, that's it. It's over.
I was exposing myself. Like I was telling people my weight on stage.
Yeah.
I was telling
Yeah.
you that I had almond milk in
Yeah.
the fridge and I knew you weren't going to be happy.
Yeah. Suddenly, all those jokes about, being a molester, I was like,
I'm not a molester. When do I ever say
you can't
that
be a
I'm
molester if you don't even drink dairy. That's how that works. Can you imagine if there's like a pedophile who's like, yeah, I can only have almond milk in my coffee. You're like, what the
Throw me that pair of child's underwear over here. I got to put something on my meatball sub. They eat anything.
Dude. Are you into conspiracies?
My friends are comics. I don't have a choice.
No.
I get bombarded. No one really comes to me with their causes too much.
Well, I don't know. Are conspiracies causes? Nobody really has causes in conspiracies. We're more just
It is if you keep bringing it up. Like some guys, their narrative constantly is do you know? Have you seen?
Oh, yeah, I don't do that.
That becomes their whole interaction in their social environment they've already got these cards behind their back.
Yeah.
They're just shuffling the same bullshit.
It's a way to get social credit. You're riding on you're doing the same thing as let's say the libs, that you hate the libs because they're virtue signaling or whatever.
Totally.
It's like, look at me, I have this credit because I know the truth. And for me, that's not what it's about. I'm like, I don't want people to get lost in the fake narrative about what's happening. When everything that happened this year, with the lockdown and people being like, take the shot. I'm like, you're not suspicious that
it's weird.
You're not suspicious that a government that literally kills people for money. I mean, that's what war is, right? They're killing people for money. They kill your own citizens for money, right? They sell them this propaganda about, America, da, da, da. And then they go over there and they end up basically securing the poppy fields in Iraq or whatever.
Yeah, the military's
so you're not suspicious that an organization that can be that sinister is now coming out and saying this is for the good of the population, and it's so important that you take it that we'll even pay you. That's not suspicious.
Look, there's a laundry list of suspicions.
I mean but that's crazy to me. And so for me, why I talk about it, I realize I don't push it because people are going to shut down and I can't do much. And it's like the thing where you realize, oh no, when people say you can't save the world, they mean it. You literally cannot. People actually have to save themselves. And it's like I was having
you have to save your own world. And then hopefully that influences the other people around you.
But it can be you can feel so helpless. I remember that I was having conversations.
You can't spend your days shaking people to wake up.
That's exactly it.
You're going to get whiplash.
And also they're going to resent you. And not that I care. I don't care if you're going to resent me. If ultimately I'm going to save you from injecting yourself with poison. Because I really believe that it's poison.
Some people are meant to die. Isn't that Darwinism?
Yeah, but except that this is Darwinism. This is breeding a different kind of thing now, right? There's 2 segments of society there's going to be this huge chasm that's happening. There's going to be the people on my side who are very suspicious of everyone because I grew up,
You think it's split? Because people smoke cigarettes on both sides.
People what?
People smoke cigarettes on both sides.
Doesn't matter. They know what they're doing. It's not like I'm believing that this is good for me and I'm going to smoke it. Do you understand what I'm saying? And in that situation, it's also a lot of times addictive behavior that we tend to not have as much power and control over as we think we do. But there's a different thing when you're making a conscious choice, right? So to me, you're splitting up the segments of society.
This is where chaos comes into effect.
Yeah.
And because chaos doesn't have a side, and it just blows up in the middle of all of it, and everyone has to reassess. But
Yeah.
there hasn't been anything traumatic enough for people to have this reflection. So there
You don't think this whole year of like people being locked down and having their whole life stripped from them is not traumatic?
Sometimes people need more than a year. Some people are deeper than that.
Yeah.
Some people are still in a hell that it was never part of the world to begin with. You know, all these exiled shut-ins and weirdos and stuff like that.
Right. For them, it wasn't anything
Yeah.
to be locked up.
I didn't mind being locked
Okay,
up.
I'm going to get out now.
I get it, but this is why you know, you can be on crash planes into a building, you can be out in the street in a picket sign, or you can be on stage as a stand-up comedian representing your voice the best way you know how.
Best way you can. Also to realize like what I mean, I've seen people go on stage whose lives are completely train wrecks.
Yeah.
And they go on and they lecture.
William Montgomery?
Love him though.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
Love him.
He's sober now.
Yeah,
he's
good
cleaned
for him.
up. Yeah,
good for him,
he's
man.
doing
That's a big deal.
totally.
People don't realize what a big deal that is. They think they like, romanticize these artists who are alcoholics. I was like, go look at their life. Like, what is the point of having all that success when their life was so miserable? Like, you know how many people romanticize Marilyn Monroe? And I'm like, her life was a disaster of loneliness.
Well, it's an epidemic on the internet. Every girl with a Instagram and a fans only account is Marilyn Monroe.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans? What is it? Fans only?
It's OnlyFans.
Oh, what did I say?
Fans only.
Fans
You're
only.
so old.
Yeah. I don't subscribe to any of those things.
Yeah, I know. You get it for free.
I get enough stuff
Dropped off.
dropped off, all
He said
kinds
you're
of
in
stuff.
with the Clintons. They just
Yeah, no, people send me all kinds of weird stuff. It's pretty
no,
bad.
dude. I agree with you. They're all. It's this whole, and I think there's a reason she's been pitted in like the limelight. I mean, the same people. This is the evilness of it. Like you think you're evil because you have some candles and 666 or whatever.
These are suppositories.
Yeah, whatever. So I can see the black. It's from your asshole.
Okay, you know what? My mother might watch this.
So people, they're saying this is what's so evil for me about these people who are in this like these sinister power hubs that everybody pretends don't exist, but they 100. I mean, it's so clear they exist. Is that they will literally, after killing the person who was for whatever reason the threat to their establishment, they will then hoist them up and act like, oh, what a wonderful person, right? Like they did it with JFK, right? After they kill him, now they name a whole building after him, name airports. And I always was like,
It's
wow.
the bait and switch.
It's the sinisterness of like, we got the person. So look, what a wonderful person. They do the same thing in America. They have peanut butter doodles. It's like
Really?
cheese doodles, but from peanut butter. That's their
Okay.
snack of like junk food. Junk food's not big. I mean, it's there like in the major cities or whatever where there's big like but that's not really, the kids don't snack all day on this. They don't do that.
No, because I think they
have delicious food at home.
that's the thing with real nutrition in it.
Yeah, because we haven't been hit by the plague of feminism that makes women feel bad because they want to feed and take care of their families.
That's why you see the luxuries of society, why you see undernourished fat people because they eat empty food.
Shit food.
Yeah.
Shit food.
And I said to my mother, I'm like, you live on a green belt. You have the best fruits and vegetables, and you got canned goods in the cupboard. Why
would you do that?
Yeah, that you feel so much better. I had to learn that. I was eating a lot of just fast foods and traveling so much and jet lag, and I was just collapsed at the end of it.
It's terrible, dude. I went to Houston last weekend, and I've been eating like better because I'm, taking care of my body and like I'm like getting older, and I'm like I don't want to have excess weight on me when I'm older, because it gets worse.
Yeah, displaced.
So I went off my path that was actually feeling better and went back to kind of some old way of, especially with traveling, it was like fast food or whatever. And I felt exhausted, and I was like, this has to be more than just a travel. Like it's also like I felt like you're clogging up your system.
Yeah.
And my
irritable headaches, not sleeping right.
My family like follows the Muslim culture, so they'll fast during Ramadan.
How long is that, the fast?
It's 30 days Where,
I've not eaten for 30 days.
yeah, but no drugs.
No drugs either.
Oh wow.
I was doing a
juice cleanse.
master cleanse.
Okay.
Just cayenne, lemons, maple syrup,
No, so
water.
they don't eat from sunrise to sundown.
Yeah.
And then they'll eat dinner. And they'll basically eat after sundown. But usually what that looks, they still end up eating way less because it usually looks like a big meal after the fast breaks. And then maybe you wake up before sunrise and have a breakfast. But I went and my mom, I was like, oh, wow, her skin looks younger.
Oh, for sure.
At the end of this, and I was like, there's like a whole reason behind these like spiritual practices that's real and tangible.
Yeah.
Like you could see that her system had cleansed itself. And I was
Yeah,
like,
your eyes are clear.
her
teeth
eyes
are white.
were clearer. Her skin was younger.
Yeah.
You know, she'd obviously lost some weight. But, you know, my mom's not like a big woman, but it was still, I was like, oh, there's a reason that these traditions are in there.
Sure. Look, I've done long fasts, and if anybody who's done a fast, it's lasted more than 10 days.
Yeah.
Your body starts to go through a whole transformation.
change, yeah.
Whole transformation. And what's the longest you fasted for? The entire 30 days?
Me, I have done an entire 30 days in my younger days, but
Yeah.
I no longer practice Islam.
Yeah.
Because I learned the like history of how it came over to my people.
You could just change it to detox instead of fasting.
Yeah,
It's
but
a LA.
then I also had an eating disorder, and I used to do like crazy shit. Like
Did you vomit?
No.
Okay.
I didn't do that. I did severe restriction, and then I'd binge eat.
Yeah.
So I make that joke. I go, I had an eating disorder, and then I point to my body, and I go, obviously it wasn't the right kind.
Yeah.
But
When you said eating disorder, you should have said, I've been eating this order of food.
yeah, it doesn't work.
I'm going to cut laughter in there.
But I did do a master cleanse for 10 days, but I was like sick in the head. So I'd get up, I'd go run 6 miles and then just drink that lemonade. And then I'd sleep because I was so tired.
Really?
Yeah.
How many hours were you sleeping by the 10-day mark? After the first week? Because I'd be down to 4 hours sleep.
No,
comfortably.
I was sleeping a long time because it was like, I was exhausting my body. You're not supposed to do a lot of physical activity.
No.
I was
barely a 10-minute yoga session or something.
You're not supposed to do any of that. So I used that as like, I'm cleansing my body, but it was, you know, all weight oriented. I think I dropped like 20 something pounds in 10 days, which is insane.
No, it's crazy.
It's insane.
I got down to, I went from just under 170 down to 142.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And you feel weird because you haven't ingested anything.
Yeah.
You know.
And then when you go back, you got to go real slow. Otherwise, you mess everything up. Obviously, I didn't do
orange
that.
juice.
Yeah, because I was.
Yeah, I did a stupid one. I cracked and went in, and I figured I talked myself into eating vegetarian sushi because I thought it would be like.
No,
it was a
it was
disaster.
terrible.
Your body's just.
I ate potato chips. I ate tortilla chips.
Oh, processed food after a cleanse.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, that's why I don't believe in a lot of that stuff because I think a lot of it comes like, especially you read on the internet, and you're like, if you see the people who are behind it, you're like, oh, you're anorexic. Okay, I understand. Or you're orthorexic, which is another eating disorder.
What's orthorexic?
Orthorexic is basically like
it's
like anorexic, but they're obsessed with everything has to be healthy and pure. They're obsessed with everything being super pure.
Runyon Canyon. You'll see emaciated people with ankle weights and headphones on.
Obsessed with it.
Yeah,
And it's like
this gaunt, muscular.
Yeah. That's not healthy either. You know,
They look like me with a ponytail. That's what the women look like.
Health is about balance. You know what I mean? And it's like what it is. It's like it's control, right? And I used to have friends like this, and it's horrible to be around them because they're like, you'll go to a restaurant.
Can't ignore it.
Yeah, they're like, is this grass fed? Where's this from?
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, like one meal isn't going to kill you. Like I understand we have this culture of like, well, just be fat or whatever, but this is like the compensation to that.
Well, then she's doing coke off a toilet seat 3 hours later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Organic broccoli
Yeah.
and then heroin. I don't know. Is she single?
You want to meet her?
I want to meet your eating disorder friend.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if...
I don't know. Yeah, you're humming and hawing. You don't have sisters, do you?
No.
What about a friend that you're trying to get back at? You don't have to name her. Just give me her Instagram and I'll start dating her.
I don't have a lot of revenge. Like I don't have revenge in my heart.
What?
Yeah.
You've changed.
What are you talking about, dude?
You've been carrying revenge in your heart since high school.
No, it's not true.
Really?
I'm not a big revenge person.
No, but you can have revenge by being successful. That's the best revenge.
Yeah, that's more like the kind of revenge I'm trying to seek on my father.
Or burn down the person's house.
Well, that won't be good.
That's good revenge.
No, it's not.
It looks great when you're standing up front with a can of gas.
And you're like,
with your hands behind your head, on your knees, going, "It was me, Malachi." I don't know. I don't know if I could. You've never thrown rocks at people?
no.
Really? Even with older brothers?
Oh, we'd fight, but I didn't throw rocks at people.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd physically fight when I was younger. It stopped once, like, my brother kind of got bigger than me, like, really bigger. He was, like, more mature and was like, yeah, I'm not going to hit you because I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah.
And I was still like, you
Yeah,
know, 'cause I was still
terrifying.
stuck in that whole old. Yeah, but he would just literally push me away and go, we're not doing this. And it was, I respect him for that because I he realized he had power and he didn't abuse it.
Yeah.
Which was, commendable given what we were raised in. You wouldn't.
It's tough being an older brother.
Yeah.
It's a big job.
Yeah.
It's a big job, especially when you're trying to figure yourself
Right.
at the same time.
Right. It's a big deal.
I'm a big brother.
I know.
I don't mind being a big brother. An older, the oldest. I was the
Are
first.
you the oldest? You the first?
I'm the first. And then under me, my sister and a young. My brother's like 37 now, I think.
Okay, so he's about my age.
Yeah. He's going to be sleeping on the other couch.
Soon. You're going to have a whole...
Maybe. No. He's too afraid to leave the country because it costs you like $5,000 to go home for quarantine fees.
That
and
is
stuff.
insane, dude.
Yeah.
And they force it on you, which is fascism, dude.
It totally is. And but they can force it on you by telling you, but you can just resist.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
resist. A lot of people have. And they'll fight the court thing, the fines and all
Yeah.
that down there. There's going to
Because
be...
it's unconstitutional.
There's no constitution in Canada.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. There's no freedom of speech in Canada. I didn't know that. Yeah. There's versions of... We have some parallels to the Declaration of Independence.
Right.
Is that it?
Yeah.
So...
You have a charter.
A charter. When you say we... I haven't lived there since like... 2004.
Don't try to get out of this now. You're Canadian, dude.
I'm thinking I'm going to apply for citizenship in the United States in the
Are
fall.
you?
Yeah, I think I can become American.
How are you here?
You sound like a customs officer looking at me drinking a cup. How are you here?
How are you here?
I have a green card. Yeah, I've had a green card for a long time.
Well, then you can apply for citizenship.
After 7 years, I've had my green card for 15.
Yeah, I thought it used to be after 5 years. Wow, they upped it, huh?
Yeah. So I'll do that, I think.
That's good.
But then I heard that you don't even need a permit to buy a gun here.
Not in Texas.
Not anymore. Apparently, like this week,
There's
you could just
constitutional
walk
carry.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
You're cool with that?
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
because I don't think that the people who care about the laws are the dangers. You understand? There's a lot of people who don't care about the law. Like the gun control is the stupidest thing ever because it's already illegal to murder.
Yes.
Do you get what I'm saying?
It's like making
Yeah.
shovels illegal.
Yeah.
Because someone got hit with a shovel.
It's already illegal to murder. It's
Yeah.
illegal to have a mass shooting. So do you think that if you make guns illegal, you're going to stop that? No.
What are you yelling at me for? I didn't do nothing.
Because you're Canadian.
Yeah, but we have hockey sticks instead of
Yeah,
firearms.
but you guys just lost your AR-15s because of Trudeau and that fake false flag that happened over 2020.
No one's...
That was so fake, dude.
What was?
That guy who went on a shooting spree or whatever, and then right after they passed a bill to get rid of the AR-15s,
You think that was coincidental?
it was 100%. It's what they're trying to do over here.
Where was the shooting?
I forgot where it was.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot where it was. But I think it was in like November of 2020.
Yeah, on the Danforth, the Greek area of Toronto.
Right. And then they
But it didn't have an AR-15. It was a handgun.
it doesn't matter. They made semi-automatic or automatic, whatever. They made it.
Yeah.
They made it. And
Well, this is out of fear. Look, but they don't see what you're not seeing is the other side. They don't have the manpower from the police perspective to deal with that kind of hardware. There's no military.
Good. That's good. No, that's good. You shouldn't. Because the government should never be more powerful than the people.
Hey, look at me.
What do you want me to look at?
No, like, yeah, now you're taking me, you're going to fuck up all my shit
That's too
with
bad.
my politics.
It's too bad. No, because you know what? People who are going to care about gun laws are the people who are going to use it to protect themselves and protect others. And I know about yes, there are the only situations that get publicized are the people who misuse guns. Okay? Nobody talks about in New York.
It's like penises.
New.
They're very misrepresented. They only talk about them. So you never see a girl on the news going, "Oh my God, I had the best time. I had 13 orgasms." Right?
That didn't happen from a penis.
It happens. There's some girls out there coming 3 times from a penis.
Well,
a real live one.
It's got to be.
I've met some ladies that have some uncontrollable, like you touch their nose and they come down their leg. It has nothing to do with Barnacle Bill over here. But you don't think a lady can have 12 orgasms?
No, I think she can.
Just not with me.
Yeah.
Oh.
With another lady.
There's some ladies that have faked it 12 times.
Yeah, well, that's different.
No. Some people have a good time. Some people don't. Some people don't know when to get out. How's that for a hard Canadian? Oot. Have you been?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've been to Toronto and I've been to Montreal.
I hope in the summer.
Yes.
What month?
I think it was like June.
Ooh,
I don't remember.
That's a hot one.
May or June.
Look, Montreal's well, you know then. How was your French?
Nobody was talking to me in French.
No, because either you're one or the other.
What do you mean?
If you're speaking French, and it's kind of like Montreal's like a safe place to be bilingual.
Okay.
And
it's not Quebec.
Because the signs,
Quebec.
I think, Quebec is, that's a whole different. I couldn't believe what kind of attitude we got just outside the city.
That's funny.
Driving up north to, or east to New Brunswick and Halifax. Nice people over there on the East Coast, up near Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island. Do you ever follow Anna Green Gables?
No.
Do you know the children's story?
No.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm an immigrant. My children's stories are
like
one
Pippi
day
Longstocking.
A man had a goat and they went on the mountain with the goat.
Do you notice that some of these childhood stories have had American versions of them when people have told you the same storylines but in the native tongue? I've heard street jokes from drunks in bars, and there was some similarities how they've been passed around like a message in a bottle or something.
Maybe I know I haven't noticed.
You don't hang out with enough alcoholics, I guess.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. I'm still thinking about. I went to a gun store last week and did a show at a gun shop.
Oh, I was there.
Yeah, that's right. You were there.
We were on the same show.
That's right. You almost got hit in the face with guns.
Yeah, dude.
Remember when you came to the door and he was holding them to transport them
and
into safety?
I walked almost right into it.
You almost had your nose busted. You almost got pistol whipped.
I did.
By a whoopsie-daisy. It's the police.
Yeah.
They're on their way.
I don't know what this is.
We have a show tonight.
Let's see if this is real.
I should check.
I think you're wrong about the date.
No.
You're wrong about the date.
I posted it just now.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're still wrong about the date.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It's tonight.
It's tonight. See?
I guess I have 2 shows tonight then.
Yeah. You just let them know that you're going to be late. This show's going to be fun.
Oh, I love this show.
Yeah, it's a good lineup, right?
It's a great show.
Montgomery?
Yes.
Not good for the poster, though, is he?
Because he looks like a crackhead.
No, well, now he's been combing his hair, and he looks like an alcoholic lawyer on holiday. Yeah.
He's very funny.
He's fantastic.
He's such a funny guy.
Who are some of your favorites? Let's name names.
I love Tim Dillon.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like local people that have, people that live here. Who have you been seeing that makes you laugh?
Brian Holtzman.
Yeah, of course.
Cracks me up. You made me laugh, but also very uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. I was like, this guy is like...
That's enough.
Yeah, that's like enough with that. Okay.
Enough with the noises. Yeah, Brian's electric.
Brian is just fantastic. Love him. Who else have I been seeing that makes me laugh? Joe Rogan made me laugh. I thought it was very
You seem
funny.
surprised. Yeah, he's doing quite well with his comedy
because
career.
everybody always said, oh, he's got a great podcast, but stand-up's not very funny. People are haters. People love to hate. And then I went and saw him, and I was like, what are you talking about, dude? He's a better joke writer than you.
First of all, he left everything to do this.
Yeah.
That's the center of all of this, all this cool stuff that's come around is because he's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
You couldn't get away with any of it if he'd gone down to another route of a television.
So
presence.
people are such haters.
Yeah.
So that's Ryan Joseph, who's running our show, has been making me laugh. He's funny, man.
Yeah.
He's so dark. He's like you. You'd like that.
Ryan Joseph. Okay.
Yeah, the guy who's running our show tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't
he's
seen
funny.
him yet.
David Lucas.
Yeah.
Hilarious, dude.
Beast.
Hilarious. Very funny. In terms of women, I saw Annie Lieberman, and I thought she was really funny.
Yeah.
She was cracking people up, dude.
She's
And
hilarious.
she went up on stage with like sweatpants and like a pajama shirt,
Yeah.
like did not
Let
care.
it rip.
Yeah, and I was like, I like that. I support that.
Yeah. It's nice to see some.
There's not a lot of female comics here.
Listen, and private, we've look at my friends that are in the business that have moved here.
Yeah.
Are like, where are the girls?
Yeah,
Where are the women?
Yeah.
Brian's Red Band's publicly like, if you're a funny girl. Oh, I think one night when you were on,
Yeah.
he goes, if you're a funny girl, move here.
yeah. The night that
Don't wait. We need you.
Yeah, the night that I went up,
Yeah.
I was the only girl there at Kill Tony.
And you were pulled.
Organically. Yeah, but he had to pull like 15 names. I told the guy who works there that I know, I was like, listen, let him know that I'm the only girl there so he doesn't have to go through 100 names before
Yeah.
he finds me. But then he pulled me, but I was like, But then I see, girls come and they're not funny, and I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah, they come and go. A lot of them are, relatively new. You've living.
I'm relatively new.
Yeah, but you've also been right in the university of some of the best.
Yeah.
You get to see these guys
Yeah.
regularly. They have no perspective. They just
Yeah.
see superstars.
Yeah.
And open micers.
Yeah. No, I've been around people really grinding, and I've been around people who've been doing it, let's say like 5-6 years is the sweet spot for a lot of people where they start to really get funny.
Yeah.
But before that I wrote comedy. I wrote a comedy show. I produced it.
Yeah, you're more well-rounded as
Yeah.
as an artist with, okay, these are pieces for my puzzle.
That's literally what happened. It's like
Yeah.
I spent different time in different areas that then it all made sense to put it into stand-up,
Yeah.
which I resisted for a long time, Like I had people telling me for 6 years to do stand-up. Like people I don't know would be like, do you do stand-up? And I would be like, don't insult me.
Yeah, well, Eleanor. You know Eleanor?
No.
She was a waitress at the Comedy Store. And once again, Rogan, like, you're really funny. You're funnier than most of the comics in here. You should totally be doing. She's from Philly. Like, I think 8 brothers.
Wow. Yeah. That's a huge impact. Because my brothers roast the fuck out of me. And we roast the fuck out of each other. And they roast the fuck out of each other. And then I watch them roast each other, and it's funny. And then I chime in with the roasts. And it's like,
It's survival of the fittest.
Yeah,
like,
but-
you can't go crying to your parents 16 times a day about the multiple harassments.
Dude.
You got to build it up.
I had to save going to cry to my parents for the physical harassment.
Yeah.
The emotional harassment was like, I got this.
Yeah, I can work around
I was like,
this.
don't worry about that. It's just like, don't, punch me in the face because then we got another problem. But it was funny because my boyfriend says, like, when people like try to crack a joke on me, he's like, oh, you think you're going to get her? He's like, she was born in the dark.
Yeah, exactly. People take license to think that they're going to put you off your game, but you don't know where I'm from.
You have no idea. Like,
No.
You have no idea, dude.
You have no
I
idea.
come up with roasts very fast on the spot. Like, what's his face? The guy in the wheelchair, Michael Lair. He's so funny. Dude.
I think he might be the funniest person alive.
And that's not wrong
All right.
because he's just and he's so creative.
How was he last night?
I didn't see him. I wasn't there.
They stopped the show again. They go, Michael, this is the best performance you've had on the show. How can you keep getting better?
Wow. Yeah, he's just so good. So I went up like 2 people before him on Thursday at the Secret Show, and he's
Not a lazy guy. For
Not a
somebody
lazy guy,
who
dude.
can't move anything from his waist down.
Yeah, and
with Lou
then-
Gehrig's disease and
it's such
assassin,
such a
murderer.
tragedy, dude. But
and then you able-bodied people, Billy Bedsores on my couch. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, I'm with you, dude. I'm with you.
I'm going to start bringing back the belt at
Right
my
here, bro.
house.
Right here.
Right?
I'm
At
with
my
you.
house.
Just start whipping people.
Yeah, men
Yeah.
that are acting like
Bitches.
bitches.
Yeah. We got to cut this out. We got to cut it out.
I'm going to start whipping people. And thanks for being on the show.
Yeah. You're a man and you want blonde highlights? Belt.
Belt. And if, first of all, highlights get you the buckle end.
Yeah. Sandals, too.
I don't do sandals.
You wear sandals, you're getting the buckle end.
Even when I don't wear open-toed shoes. I used to work as a janitor at a glory hole, and it would splash in between my Crocs all the time because there was so much
That is disgusting.
trucker come.
Did you really work at a glory?
Yeah, I used to squeegee all the loads
How was
down
that?
to the drain. It smelled. First of all, it smelled so bad. I used to have to put my own shit on my lips to
No,
get
you
through a
didn't.
work day.
No, you didn't.
They call me Adolf Hitler,
Did you really put shit?
and I wear green camo.
Did you put shit on your...
Yeah, I put a little, because you know the spearmint gum that they use for autopsies? I couldn't find it. I didn't know anybody in the medical field. So
Yeah.
I would do 2 little
Shit.
smears
Of shit.
of shit. Sometimes cat, sometimes my
Because
own.
it smelled that bad.
It smelled so bad. The cum, it all run together down at the bottom of the drain, and it had this kind of heartbeat to it. I guess it would move away from the drain like it was trying to fight for its life.
Jeez.
Where can people find you?
On Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Leonarda is funny. So it's Leonarda with an A.
Yeah.
Is funny. I'm on Twitter too and YouTube. Same name on all of them. I have a YouTube channel.
And 10 o'clock tonight at Creek in the Cave.
Yeah, Creek in the Cave.
That's great.
Good to think I saw you today.
Totally. You wouldn't even know. See, she's struggling with the fact that she's got so many shows
I
coming
do actually
up.
have so many shows.
See?
I've got like 20 shows this month.
Do you think it's a lady show?
It's because I think a little bit of it is we need a lady. She's funny, and it won't seem like we just hired a lady. And I think a lot of it is also I'm funny.
You've set a standard in
yeah,
the city.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm looking forward to sharing the stage with you tonight. We're not really going to we're going to pass in the hallway, but
yeah.
we don't really.
I'm gonna pretend like I don't know you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't even bother me. I've had such a good conversation with you right now that if you ignore me for the rest of the summer, I'd be like, well, we had our time. We had our time. It's going to cycle back around, and you actually go, hey, across the patio
Yeah.
at some nightclub or comedy club.
I'd be like, just remember, we don't know each other.
Yeah. I'll be walking over with my hand. You'll be like, these are people I like. Rejection. It's fun.
Yeah, it's good times.
Thank you.
Thank you. What a weak handshake.
Fuck.
Until we hear the safe word, we will not stop.
Have you ever thought what it would be like to see a person's head amputated? Think of things so horrible that the human mind cannot imagine them. See all this and more when you see on stage, in person, that crazy mixed up.
I like being set apart from people. I like to be hated.
Safe word with Jason Rouse.